Welcome back to Mystics at the Grocery Store. I'm Rosalyn. I'm joined by Adrienne and Melinda, of course. And
Hello.
today I'm going to ask you a question, listener. Have you seen 11:11 on the clock? Have you seen 3:33? Or maybe you have, a certain number or combination of numbers that follows you around. Today, we are going to jump into numerology and talk all about numbers, and it's very exciting. And we're going to give you just some tools, like some basic understandings of 1 through 9, kind of the foundation of numerology in a way. We might jump into a little bit of history too, to kind of get nerdy up in here about how it came into be as a practice, as like a divination tool and how people use it. Yeah, getting in the nerdy soup up in here. But yeah, so to start though, we kind of wanted to, I feel like numerology is this very broad topic and we kind of hear it all the time. And obviously we're surrounded by numbers. Um, but how do we actually use it? So we were going to go through and kind of talk about how numerology shows up for us in our practice, and then we'll go from there. So, Adrienne, start us off. How is numerology something that you work with day to day? Or maybe not day to day, but regularly?
Well, it pretty much is day to day. I do have a favorite number. It's three, and it's always been three. I just love it. But for me, when I start thinking about numerology, I love numbers. I like the way I write some of them, and then I could sit forever just writing numbers. I love math as well, but that really isn't too much to tap into it. But just the fact that for me in practice, what it has come to mean to me in practice is that it's an opportunity for me to be present. So for instance, when I see 11:11 on the microwave or on my phone, and it's 11:11, 11:11. So it's November 11th, 11:11. And I'm just like, oh, look, it's like four and four, stability. So when you start thinking about how for me, when you start thinking about how I see these numbers and why it became present at that moment, it's like, okay, what am I creating for my stability? And quite simply, it brings me back into presence because, like we were saying off screen, you really can't be the main character or the author of your own journey if you're not present in your journey. You're going to be forever saying or thinking, I'm just here and somebody else, this is somebody else's thing. And things happen to me. Things don't happen to you. You allow them to happen. And if you're not in your presence, you don't realize, well, I did hear a rattle of a snake over there. So let me go in the other direction. Or that was gunshot over there. Or, whatever it was. To that presence is really what the practice is about. That being present, being accountable for what you're projecting out, being accountable for what you're allowed to project in. Because again, alignment, number one. So for that, in a nutshell, that's how I use it when I see it on the microwave or on my phone or just like I was talking to a friend the other day, her birthday is 2/22. I was like, girl, you know how lucky you are. She was like, well, what do you mean? And I was, oh my goodness. And then she's gonna send me her birth chart. Like if she was born at 2/22, oh my goodness, I'm just gonna lose my mind. But I didn't notice it until it was 2:22 on my phone that morning because we were working together. But it just, it's a fun way to use numbers. It's a fun way to think of numbers. Even when I can't even imagine like introducing it to kids with this fun kind of a way to it as well, instead of it just being, oh, it's just arithmetic, blah, blah, that kind of a thing. But for me, it's about, I know that got long winded. I am so sorry, y'all.
It's all good.
Numerology,
Adrienne.
another one of my favorite topics, but ultimately it can just bring you into an awareness of the present moment and to have gratitude for that present moment once you realize it and that awareness. Oh, it took a moment to just really look at the clock and see 222 or 444. And how cool is that?
Yeah,
So that's how I use it.
that's
Amen.
awesome.
I
Melinda,
love
how
it.
about you?
I love that, Adrienne, opportunity to be present. And when you said that, I clicked for me what I use it as for real is opportunity to be playful because I am playful. And I come from a line of people who are playful and have used numbers like that. So I grew up with like a mother who's obsessed with numerology, talked about, based her travel to Greece around what day it was. She was going to travel on the 13th to the 14th, and then we break it down to 4 and 5, and how she's going into the explorer area of the 5. Like, I just, every single aspect of life can be broken down into number mysticism. Like, everything, the universe is numbers, and it's a way of relating to life that takes us out of kind of petty materialism and into like soul searching, really, and like playfulness and reframing of everything. My uncle Harv is a mathematician, and he's constantly sending numbered riddles and jokes and out to the family, and it's like numbers are to be played with and combined and recombined, and they're of course they're embedded in tarot, which we love, and oracle, and so they're sacred, and they contain hidden meanings that you're never supposed to master it entirely. You're supposed to be open to them and what they have to say to you today, which is part of what Adrienne was saying, like, be present. And what is this saying to you today? What are you noticing? So yeah, I also notice, my birthday, my month and day on the clock kind of thing. That's a moment of pause. And I'm like, yay, I'm happy to be here. Yay. So, like that. How about you, Rosalyn?
Just like that. A kind of ditto of both of you all. Like, it's not something that I've really like studied deeply past the like basic foundation of it, just so that I have like a tool of, like you said, like when you see a time on the clock, you're like, oh, cool. I think for me too, what happens is it feels kind of mystical. And so, like Adrienne was saying, it was like, yes, it makes me present, but it also makes me realize and remember, like, I'm part of this mystical experience on Earth as a human. And so I think it's that synchronicity of like remembering divinity. Like, it's just this neat little, almost insignificant moment in a day of whenever it happens, whether you see it on the clock or not, or yeah, it's just, it reminds me that I'm part of this mystical experience and that the divine is supporting me. And I think when I see numbers that catch my attention, it's usually like repeating numbers on the clock, and it'll be like I'm having a thought in a certain way that I'm processing it, or I'm working on a passion project, and all of a sudden I look at the clock and it's like 4:44, and I'm like, oh, I should be like, I'm doing the right thing. I'm like on the right path. So that's how it kind of comes up for me. But then also, I think you'll find in like oracle decks and tarot, like the numbers that are represented on the cards. I like knowing the basic understanding of numerology, because it does give you a chance to kind of like add a layer to your translations that can be helpful in creating like a deeper meaning for whatever you're pulling for. So I think those two are kind of the main thing. It seems like a message of support for me, and then yeah, just added interpretation to readings. I
Yeah,
don't
definitely an
often
additional letter.
Yeah, I don't actually often see my birth like month and day on the clock, but I feel like now that I'm saying that, it will show up.
Yeah, and for me, it could be like could be 1:13 for me, or it could be 11:30. So yeah,
Mm.
it's just I get all giddy just thinking about it. And then you bring in tarot and oracle, and it's like, here are these guys, these massive, their creativity
Mm,
blows me away.
it is,
Like,
yeah.
okay, this is what we want the card to resemble, and let's just sketch it out. Like, and we're going to make this the number 5, or did they think number 5 first, and this is what we wanted? Just their brain cycle. I would just love to tap into that.
I would love to too. That would be such a cool conversation. Yeah, maybe someday.
Well, we're
I
going to
mean,
meet them
Oh,
soon.
go
yeah.
ahead, Melinda.
Well, no, I just piggybacking on that. It made me think about the ancients, because all of this, and maybe it's a moment just to groundwork, comes out of like ancient mystery schools and ancient wisdom around numbers being important as sacred shapes first, before the sort of abstract concept. There is the line and there is the shape. So like the triangle is like the primal shape of the, like fire, and they're associated with elements. And even, Pythagoreans are these, followed the teachings of Pythagoras, who really downloaded from the universe all of these concepts that were around the most like sacred aspect of all numbers is 10. And the shape of a pyramid, with 1 dot at the top, 2 dots under, 3 dots, and then 4 dots. 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 adds up to 10. So there's always a connection between the numbers and a meaning. So it blows my mind, because like when you think about the triangle on top of a square, really is ancients considered that kind of a depiction of spirit in matter. So like when you look at the chariot card, like in certain decks, like these artists they knew about the ancient schools of Pythagoras and about sacred geometry, and they're embedded in the cards. And it's like all connected, including music, including vibration, including like you could play and yeah, it just it's like I could only imagine back in those ancient times, the downloads that would come through around this are amazing.
I mean, I'm sure it was overwhelming at first, because it's like, I mean, it is like its own language in a way.
And it's written on our bodies, in our bodies. All these magic shapes are in our body, like how the shape of our human form and our and the number of fingers and number of toes and how everything works together. I mean, it just like takes you on a journey of everything.
Yes. That'll be your homework, listener. Go through your body and count. How many eyes do you have? How many nose? How many ears? And think of the meaning. Yeah, no, I love that. And I did a little digging as well on the history, just of like where, at least in our records, we first see some of the examples of people using numbers for any type of tradition or divination or what have you. And this is not all of them, but what I found was ancient Mesopotamia is, one of the earliest. They used linking numbers to astrology. So of course, I mean, we know how that still applies today. And Adrienne is a huge fan. And the interpretation of cosmic influences. This goes back all the way to the 8th or 9th century BCE. So, I mean, talk about ancient practice. Of course, we have ancient Egypt. We have numerical symbolism integrated into their architecture, like Melinda was saying, sacred geometry, religious rituals. And they also believed that names held power. And so when they gave numbers to their figures of their letters and their names, like that's what they believed to hold power as well. Like Melinda was saying, ancient Greece, numbers rule the universe. Pythagoras, that's all the way back to 570 BCE, ancient times. And then also some other traditions. We know in India, the Vedic astrology, so that's kind of related to, how we see astrology as well, but they really sit with numbers on certain dates, whether, good or bad. They kind of see it as shaping the energy of the day. In China, we see numerical systems that are used in feng shui and I Ching, where odd and even numbers are thought to carry specific energy qualities, and even ancient Jewish traditions practice and I hope I'm pronouncing this right, gematria, where letters and words are assigned numerical values to uncover hidden meanings in sacred texts, and it has been used for over 2,000 years. So I just love that it's something so rooted in our lineage. Like, it's not just something that is, oh, like that's like a cutesy thing that's come about in like modern time. And people are like, oh my gosh, my favorite number, or like lucky number 7, it follows me everywhere. Like there's a history to this, and there's like deep rooted practice related to how it's a sacred knowledge that's been passed down for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. So, yeah, I just wanted to make sure that we knew, like, not that it's like a serious thing, like you said, Melinda, it can be playful, but there's a lot of depth to it. And I
It's
think that,
wise. Like,
mhm,
yeah, it's very wise. I love
yeah,
that you gave the foundations. Yeah, through cultures.
yeah, across the globe, everyone has found that numbers hold some type of sacred position in life, which is really neat.
Yeah.
Were you going to say something, Melinda?
Well, I made me think about and again, it goes back to what all of us have been saying, that there is wisdom in like the intentionality behind, say, that this ancient Mesopotamian, like the Chaldeans, who like would not name a child without first doing the numerology. Like
Wow.
it was essential
Mm-hmm.
to understand. And so there was such intentionality around that, and the understanding of the sacred coming into form, and that it would be represented through a name, which would be connected to these numbers. And so, like, if we all, if we had that, I mean, we do have a lot of intentionality around names, but sometimes they're like, oh, it's fun to
Sounds
like kind of
cool.
go a little deeper, into, and,
How about my child grass? This is grass.
Yes. No,
But even
yeah, I love that.
when you're saying that, what's coming to mind is like how that firstborn child, like way back then, the first one was going to be the one that was going to take over. This is my firstborn child. My first, usually a male back then anyway. But it's so interesting, like it was the firstborn. It's not the last one, it's the first one. And so even the choice of it being the firstborn that takes over the crown, is another way of to seal in that sacredness. And then when we start talking about sacredness and we start talking about religion and time back, like the Trinity just to be, and again, number 3, love you. But Father, Son, Holy Ghost, everything's in 3. Spells are in 3, like amen, I mean, amen. It's 3 times. It's really sealing. It's really an amplification number. And it's just shown throughout life to be that way. Um, and I would love to jump down the road of the number 13, but I was like, I don't, there's just so much, so just the representation that they've had for so much time shows you just their sacredness and how valuable they are, and bringing us into the present moment because they've been doing it for so long.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I think we should jump into the basic numbers to kind of give people the tool of like figuring out. I mean, you can, and I will suggest this is very fun to do. If you go online, there are and search like numerology of names, you'll see charts that kind of lay out the letters in the alphabet associated with the different numbers, and you can kind of calculate your number for your name, which is fun. You can do it for your birthday as well and kind of sit with the frequency of that number too. But yeah, let's jump in. Let's talk about the numbers. We'll just get going. We'll start with 1. Ladies, number 1. How do we feel about this number?
For me, it always brings up alignment and authority. um
I agree.
That's what it's meaning to me, at this time. And the wonderful thing of it is that, you can have a list of numbers, I mean, a list of qualities and archetypes that it has. Which one is speaking to you?
Mm-hmm.
So there's not a right or wrong. It's which one's speaking to you at that time. And at this point in time, for me, it's alignment and authority figures, self-discipline as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think of leadership, beginnings.
Yeah.
divine creation. And again, like Adrienne said, alignment, taking, giving our power to ourselves to direct our lives in the way that is aligned, like literally like the way it looks, one
Yeah.
up and down, Roman numeral, and however we call ours other way.
Yeah,
What's
that
the other
way.
one? I
But
don't know.
I really, yeah. And I love, of course, it's connected to the magician. So we love
Mhm.
that, creating magic in our
Yeah.
lives.
Yeah, I would say all of that. The other thing that comes to mind for me is divine connection. So like top of the one to bottom of the one. It's the path, the channel of like us to the divine. We are aligned in that kind of spiritual connection. Number one. All right. Number two. What do we think, ladies? Balance.
When I see number two, I get a feeling of yes, balance, but also it's feminine for me. It's a very feminine number, and I'm getting ready to interpret the whole number what it means. But when I look at it, I think about harmony and I think about partnerships. That's what I think
Yeah.
about.
Partnership. Melinda,
I
how
love
about you?
that. Um, well, I was doing my geometric deep dive earlier as I was talking about sacred geometry, and just like, how we said one is like one line. If you think about two as lines,
Mm-hmm.
it's really interesting because you could put them together and they form like an angle, and it's sort of like it gives a perspective, how are we looking at something? We want to look at it from these different ways, from top to bottom to, is it bigger? It's like relativity,
Mm-hmm.
angles are like, is it greater than, is it less than? It's like, it's so interesting.
Yeah.
And when you look at it as lines, but also high priestess, what does she have at her heart? But she has the equal cross, which is two lines. And, that is also representing, like what you guys said, harmony and balance. And, but yeah, it's sort of like this the mirror. And yeah, it's depending on the day, two might change, but relationship, but like you said, but that's what two is. Two is
Yeah.
Is
like
it magical?
two.
Yeah.
Two is amazing.
Coexisting. So like whatever's happening and teamwork kind of a thing. So whatever's
Mm-hmm.
resonating with you for that time frame.
And
Yeah.
intuition,
Yeah.
diplomacy.
Yeah, I think
Two
duality
sides.
too. My brain goes to duality. It's like all the dual things in life, like yin and yang, masculine, feminine, like you see it in that pairing, dark, light, day, night, all that. I kind of go to those places too.
Yeah.
Mm,
All right. Number three, are
so
one of the
powerful.
favorites.
I guess I can let you guys talk on this one first because if I'll just go.
I think of creativity, inspiration. I think of, coming from mother, father, it's child, yeah, it's the birthing of inspiration to me.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's wise because, like, they're kind of in our material world, we have the notion of time, and there's past and present and future. And that for me, like, wisdom is the wisdom of three of that is being able to, like, take a moment and see the past, see look toward the future, but stay in the present. There's just something about three that's, yeah, it's creative.
Wonderful.
It's wonderful. We know it. It's Adrienne. When I think of three, I think
It's
of
Adrienne.
wonderful Adrienne, alchemist, astrologer.
Yeah, it's definitely one of my favorites. I love that you say the wisdom of three because you're bringing in that amplification of it. It's about amplification. It's about abundance for me, optimism, and I like that the reflection. I get a sense of the triangle every time I think of the number three, and I look at it this way. And you've got the three different stages that you can look at something, and you get the entire picture. So for me, that is also bringing forth with the number three. So past, present, future, mother, maiden, crow. I mean, we could just keep going on with all the three things that are just keep going. I just, it's my favorite.
It's great. Oh,
But
three
it
is
is
amazing.
it's the reminder that like and this goes for all numbers. I feel like as soon as somebody listens to this episode, they're going to start seeing it everywhere of like, oh, look, everything's in pairs over here. Everything's in three. Like you're just, when you open your brain to being able to be aware of it, it just shows up everywhere. And it just adds that little spark of like, ooh,
It's a
love it.
spark. Yeah. And it
Yes.
redirects your mind from your crap that you're thinking about and all the overthinking and all the patterns of thinking that are driving you nuts. Forget it.
Totally.
Look
Stop
at
that.
numbers, people. Just look at
Yeah.
numbers and
Look
have
at
fun.
numbers.
Be
Watch them
present
float
with them.
away.
They
So
love you too.
fun.
All numbers love you.
Totally. All right. Number 4, our foundation,
Stability.
stability. Yeah.
Mhm.
The 4 legs of a chair,
Mhm.
sturdy, stable foundation.
Mm-hmm. I think of like practical,
Dependable comes to mind.
dependable.
I start to think
Sometimes-
about the mystics too. I start to think about
Yeah.
the fact that we have 4 directions. So
Mhm.
it's all encompassing all those 4 directions.
Yeah.
I sometimes think about like hard work with 4, not in a bad way, just like labor of love.
I've heard salt of the earth being connected to 4 as a
Mm.
earth element. And
Mm.
also with something about the structure of the chemistry of salt is
The
somehow
actual,
4.
yeah.
Cool.
I've
Yeah.
heard of it called the earth number as well. Yeah.
Very cool.
See, now we have to all go look up the
I know.
chemical
I'm like,
equation.
what? I've never heard that before.
Yeah, I have heard it. Yeah.
Lovely.
Now it is.
Okay. Now on to a number that people sometimes get a little spooked by. Number 5.
Okay. I love 5. What are you talking about?
I do too. I do too.
Freedom. Freedom.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Freedom.
I mean,
Freedom
it
and
takes
awareness
yeah.
too.
Yeah.
There's
Mhm.
definitely an awareness to it because if you have too much freedom, your ass is tipping over in that rocking chair. I'm sorry. It's a rocking chair. Too much freedom, you're tipping over. Not enough, you're flipping over on the way back. So energy comes through on this one for me. Energy of change.
Mhm.
So, number 5 is about change. Something's changing. So, but yeah, it can be a little bit chaotic and unstable. But no need to be afraid of
Sometimes.
it.
No need to be
No.
afraid.
You're learning stuff in 5. You're making discoveries. You're
Absolutely.
growing. You're expanding out of 4. Finally, it gets tiring to be only just stable. You got to break free sometimes.
Totally.
That's that moment after 4, 5. Ooh,
Yeah.
what are we
Yeah.
learning?
Transformation.
Mhm.
I used to, on my own, without an alarm clock, wake up at 5:55 in the morning. And sometimes I'd be like, is this a good thing?
Yes.
Then I was like, I guess so. Starting the day, got to be open, explore, change, transform.
Mhm.
If you look at the numerology of 555, it adds up to 15, which
And
breaks
6,
down
yeah.
to
Our
our
next
next
number.
number, which is love, harmony.
What a beautiful segue, Melinda.
Couldn't
What
resist.
a pro. What a pro. Yes, number 6. Harmony.
For this one, I get harmony as well. I get that grandmother energy where all that wisdom is down in the root and it's being shared out. If you can imagine the number 6 this way, and it's being shared out and broadcasted out. I get compassion, self-sacrifice. Definitely family comes to mind when I see number 6 as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
caregiver energy, family for sure.
It's very peaceful number. It's very
Mhm.
harmonious in different ways because if you break it down, 2 plus 2 plus 2, it's all just that those together make 6 and 3 plus 3. So there's like mirroring and tripleting in
Mhm.
it within it. It's kind of a magical number in that way. And we think about the hexagram in terms of shape of it, and that we know is a very divine, number of or a divine shape that really unites all the elements, including and brings spirit in. So it's really a beautiful number.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got written down that it's the perfect number because 2 plus 2 plus 2 is 6, but 1 plus 2 plus 3, 1, 2, 3 is also 6.
Mm.
Beautiful.
1 times 2 times 3 is also 6. And then when you're talking about that sacred geometry, number of petals that a lot of flowers are 6. Bell peppers have like 6 little chambers. Tomato seeds before it's been done, whatever it's going to be. whatever. We're not going down that road, but they typically have six seeds per chamber. The honeycomb, and also the frozen water pixels. I mean, I was just snowflakes. I was just like, oh, the number six is amazing. It does represent a lot of the individual elements, the element of water, the element of earth.
Yeah, that's really cool. So fun.
The lovers card too. The lovers.
Yeah.
What?
All right. 7.
7 is
Spirituality.
the seeker.
Yeah.
The seeker. That's what I had too. Spiritual thinker.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Lucky,
hopefully,
obviously.
yeah, lucky. And then hopefully like acquiring wisdom as you're seeking.
I read that that the ancients associated number 7 with the goddess Athena, which piqued my interest as a goddess lover, because she is a virgin goddess, which means like really just pure and authentic into herself. And she was born.
Was she really?
Of neither mother nor father. Like she was born kind of both, because Zeus at that time had swallowed her mother. And you have to listen to my episode on Athena.
I remember it.
To really get into it.
It's a wild ride.
Will you link it down here so we can listen to it?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
But she's associated with it. And Pythagoras felt that the number 7 was absolutely deserved reverence, and that seeds are supposed to like blossom forth from the earth after 7 days. I don't know if that's true. I've never really. I'm going to do an experiment. But
Okay,
if you plant a seed, like I'll let you know. They appear above the ground. Yeah, of course, we know about 7 days being holy, and but yeah, it's sacred number.
That's so interesting. Love that. Okay. One of my favorites, 8.
Why is it your favorite? Tell me.
Yeah, why is
There's
it your
something
favorite?
about the shape of it.
Yeah.
That it's just, I also love 3, and it's kind of a 3 mirroring a 3. But to me, it's just like ultimate balance. It's the lemniscate, it's infinity. It feels very expansive, and at the same time, like it has a strong foundation. So it just feels very magical to me.
Me too.
For me, it's that I meditative, just continually tracing it. There's no end, there's no beginning. You're just going and you're going, and it gives me a bit of goosebumps when I look at the number 8, because it's a very powerful number in my opinion, because obviously it's 2 3s, holes. But I think about success.
Yeah.
I also think that number 8 has been called the karmic equalizer as well, and to be both destroyer and creator at the same time. So you got the number 3, you got the creator when you're looking at it forward. When you're looking at it backward, it could be considered the destroyer. So to be considered both.
Love that.
And I think about balance, the earth spirit, masculine and feminine, both being in that number. So, and of course, it's the strength card.
Yeah, I was going to say like that strong ambition, like authority kind of energy too. Love it.
Yeah. And it reminds me of as above, so below as a principle. It's just so key for just universal wisdom and having that higher mind, higher self, which I see in the strength card as the pure virgin, like the Virgo who's really in connection, deep connection with the animal self, shown by the lion. So it's very much, it is one of my favorites too. And of course, in belly dance, all I do is 8. Everything, every part of my body has been an 8 of some sort. Yeah, or trace that
Love
movement
that.
pathway.
That would be a fun exercise for people. Move your body in an 8, see what it feels like.
Yeah, you can paint an 8 with your hand and like follow with the rest of your body, see how it feels. It's a wonderful exercise.
That'd be fun. Report back, everyone. Comment if you do that. All right, number 9. Completion. Wisdom.
Definitely inner wisdom. I also get a it's the finalization of a cycle of inner wisdom. Like you're coming into a cycle, and now 9, and you've got that inner wisdom. That's now put in your back pocket because it's part of your tool belt. It's part of your evolution. But I get a sense that it's also a very self-sufficient number because of, I'll come back to that after. I was going to go into the pieces of 9, but I'll go into that after you guys share.
Ooh, I like that. Of course, I broke down 9 into 3 plus 3 plus 3. We have thrice great. I mean, it's
Very
beautiful.
powerful.
And we've come through all the other numbers, and we've reached this end point before the next horizon, before where we go into a new cycle with a new understanding, a new vibration of the next set of numbers. But now we're completed with those single digits, and it's all written there in the 9.
Yeah. I would say if people like to get nerdy with numbers, we don't have enough time to jump into all the things, but if you look up the Fibonacci spiral 369, that has a play in it, which is like a key to like how everything unravels. It's fascinating. It's a whole rabbit hole. So look that up. It's very fun. Adrienne, do you want to, whatever you were going to say?
Well, this is, again, when you look at 9 times any number reduces back down to itself. So 9 times 3 is 27. 27 reduces back down to 9. So again, that's why that self-sufficiency comes through there. And it even when it's, even like if you look at 20 times 9, that's 180. 1 and 8 reduces down to a 9. So just that potential being so self-sufficient, like in its completeness, where everything's always going to come back to me. So I know I'm complete. And now let's go back into the next cycle, which would be going back into the number 1, I guess, if we're going to skip 0. But there is a sense of arrogance around that number as well. So just a little bit of caution there.
Balance it. But, and also to know, I mean, we just, walked out of 2025, which was a 9-year, and now we're in 2026, which is a 1-year. So after all the things that we've kind of talked about, that kind of gives another layer to the energy of what's kind of happening collectively. So moving out of that completion year into a new beginning kind of state.
I have to just give homage to 0. I'm sorry. I really do.
Above all numbers. It's all encompassing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like the Alpha and Omega, which are the Greek letters for the beginning and end of the alphabet, represented by the Ouroboros, which is the snake eating its own tail, which is in the magician card and everywhere, a lot of other places. But it's like the cosmic egg principle. It's, all of that, just like a beautiful divine matrix out of which everything arises and, kind of connects to the Fool card, which is that sense of full all potential. It's beautiful. And then the 10, you can look at the 10 as like the 1 within the 0, which is like the ultimate perfection, because it's the individual who knows themselves as divine.
Yeah. Love that. Well, I wanted to know a couple just last things before we hop off. I wanted to talk about 1111 because I feel like that's everybody sees it. It's like a thing. People are like, oh, make a wish, 1111. Like, there's like all these different things. So I wanted to talk about that. Ladies, how do we feel about it? We obviously know after talking about 1, 4 times, it's that alignment, but then we're also seeing the balance, the reflection of like 2 1s on one side, 2 1s on the other. I mean, there's so much there. Discuss.
For me, it's just a party. It's a spirit party. It's like twinkles coming down. It is. I think about the way I see, even, I know this is the 4 of Wands in tarot. It like has these like, I mean, in the Raider-Smith Waite deck, whatever, it's got this bower. It's got these, looks like 2 11s that you're passing through to me.
Yeah.
So you're just like, woo. It's like you get this literal sparkly, energetic, like upliftment. And that's how I feel.
I love it. I love that we create new words. We really got to start writing these down. Liftment. We have to.
I think it's real, but maybe it's a Melinda word.
We're gonna make it. We're gonna. things have to be added to give it an additional layer of meaning, right?
Mhm.
Has to be.
Yeah. Well, beautiful. Yeah. Adrienne, do you have any 1111?
I see it
Notes?
as, it's a master intuitive number.
Mhm.
11 is a master intuitive. So, um, okay, so if we just look at 11 by itself without the additional 11, other than it being a mirroring of, you've got, you know, the harmony of 1 and 2, like you've got 11, it's 11. You've got everything that's going on with the number 1 as far as archetypes and qualities and energies, and you've got everything that goes on with the number 2 as well, because 1 and 1 is 2. And then you think about that completeness of the 2, and we start talking about the energies of the number 2 as well. And then we're now going to mirror it on the other side. So you've got like a mirroring of the alignments. You've got the alignment,
Amazing.
the mirroring of the alignment, mirroring of the alignment, the mirroring of the alignments. So it's like complete alignment to me. So it's like really, which is the master intuitive. So,
Mhm.
that's, I guess if you're going to get to a spot, that's where you want to go to. But I also see the portal of the 2. You've got the
Mhm.
portal on this side that you can go through, and then you've got the portal over here that you can go through. And then, okay, you've got the 2 portal that you're going to look at. My head tickles right now. So you see,
Adrienne's coming through the portal.
It is. It's that's where my brain
so
went, was like
that's where my brain went.
the portal of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you see 1111 on the clock, it's more than
Hmm.
just making a wish. It's a pretty neat thing. And
Yeah.
it's a very, you can
Step
make
through
it,
it.
yeah, step through it. You can make it as deep and meaningful as you want. But if anything, it's definitely a number showing you support and that you're on the right path. Beautiful.
It's
Oh my
just, yeah,
God.
it's a great pause. Yeah.
It's also, you bring into that awareness, like when you're a little kid and you're rolling the dice, it's whatever shows up on that, but that's the
Mhm.
number. So it does bring that mysticism into your day, where um you're not necessarily walking around the house rolling dice, but you look up and you see it, and there it is. Like, okay, what's that number bringing into your awareness for this moment?
Yeah, for sure.
I did the some numerology for our pets, you guys.
Oh my gosh.
I just
Oh,
wanted to
oh
throw this
boy.
into the mix, and I
So
wanted to just
fun.
let you know a couple of facts about your pets
Oh my
based on
Okay.
God.
numerology.
Tell me about
Okay.
Cooper.
Okay, so Cooper is Cooper's destiny is loyalty
Oh.
and
Absolutely.
wisdom. Like number 9 is the main expression number. When you, so that's taking the, all of the letters of the name. But then when you do the numerology of the vowels, which is interesting because vowels are considered to be sacred and holy, and they are separate than consonants in numerology. Sometimes they're looking at the soul urge when you are calculating your vowels. Cooper's vowels are an 8, a
Oh.
desire to succeed, and
Oh.
all of those qualities of 8. And Cooper's personality number is number 1. He wants to lead others. I don't know if that's
So
true.
freaking lately.
Okay,
Absolutely. This
see, it's
dog
works,
is
you
this
guys.
big.
It's like
Yeah,
that
he
works.
must be
So
in charge.
Cooper, so it's in the name. Now for Rosalyn's babes, we got Milo. This interesting thing about Rosalyn's is both of their names contain master numbers for
Ooh.
different placements. So for Milo, the destiny number is a 22, master builder.
Okay.
There's a lot, it's powerful. And then for River, that is the personality number is also a 22, a master builder number.
Wow.
So, but then Milo's soul urge is 6, a desire for harmony and peace, whereas River's soul urge is to a 5. It's a little more active, I feel like a little
Totally.
more adventurous.
Totally.
Does that ring true?
Oh my gosh, totally. Really, I'm reading it as Milo just wants to be curled up at the house and River just wants to be exploring,
I mean,
which is true.
it's written into the names. And then
Oh.
So
for,
wait.
yeah,
Wait,
yeah,
the soul urge is on the vowels. Is that what you were saying?
correct. The
Okay.
numerology of the vowels.
I love
And you
that
can all
so
do your
much.
pets. I did Mia. I did her formal
Yay.
name as well as her informal name because she has a formal name, Olympia Portocali.
Oh my
Okay.
god.
It was very different. But not what we call her. That's her name at the vet. So that's her
Oh my
birth certificate
gosh.
name, and her real name, and then her pet name that we call her is Mia. And she's more actually resonant with Mia numerologically because she has like her name destiny is 5. So she's like curious and she's active and she's discovering. Very true. Her soul urge is a 1. She wants to be number 1. You know, we only have one animal in the house. She's
I
got
want another pet.
It's a 1. Yeah. And then she has success through number 4, which is persistence in her case, like, which is true. At the door, very persistent. Nothing deters her from trying to open our doors in the morning at 4:30. So yeah, it's just fun. Everybody have fun with it is the point.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that made my whole day. I love that so much.
I'm gonna go give him a hug now. Although he's just
right?
laying on the sofa, like this is my entire sofa.
So
like,
cute.
give me unlimited numbers of food, please.
Yeah.
Yes, he will overeat. Very food motivated. And you know what I've noticed about him, like he will go to the beach. He lays on top of Bobby. Like seriously, like Bobby's like the dog. Or even when they're sleeping, he lays on top of Bobby. So, he does not like us hugging. You know, that's just one thing I'm not involved with that. We've got to be. So, yeah. And if like you try to get him off, he gets all violent. Like, you're this big.
So cute. Well, I love that example of using the numbers. So I hope people do that themselves. And I don't think we've said yet, but when you're calculating, you're taking the number associated, like in this instance with the letter, you're adding all of them together, and then you keep adding until it is reduced down to either a master number 11, 22, 33, or a single digit. And
there are calculators online which you can look up as well. And then it was Pythagoras.
It's much more fun to play with it.
So
it's fun to have all the understand, because I did a deep dive, you guys. It was too much for this one podcast, but there are numbers associated with like the challenges that you have in life, which are numbers that are not showing up for you in your name so much, or your birth, numbers. It's the stuff where you probably need to work on. Which I did mine, and I was like, accurate.
I'm gonna have to ask you to do mine.
I love to.
I know. Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Well, I hope you all enjoyed this episode. I think it's fun, but it's also just neat to know that it's such a sacred practice that's been around for so long. Like there's so much, obviously, because we've had this whole discussion about it, but there's so much rich, deep meaning behind numerology. And have fun with it, play with it, and now you kind of have a little bit under your belt for when you see a little number pop up here and there in the day, maybe on a license plate or the number of your house address, or just explore and have fun.
Happens more than you think when you start to be aware. It's like, I keep seeing 374. Like,
it's crazy.
And then you go and you're looking at a house and it's 374 Cherry Lane or whatever, and you're like,
check your house number. Oh my gosh,
check your house number. Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
For sure.
There are things, if you don't like your number, you can put another number on the back of the door and like make it add up to something secretly different. I love that. But let us know in the notes, everybody. Like, what comment. If you don't want to go look something up and you want us to do it for you, like, we're obsessed. We'll totally do it. We'll totally do it for you.
That would be so fun.
You back.
I did a class with the girls this summer or last summer, because now we're coming into summer, where we went over numerology. I will find it. I'll link it down and they can kind of do it themselves. It's so much fun. They were like, oh my God, they were just so excited to do it. So it's a fun thing to do.
So fun. It's awesome. Great. Okay. Well, thank you, everybody. We hope you enjoyed, and we will see you very soon.
Bye.
Bye. Oh my God, the Count Dracula from the Muppets. I can't.
Go look up Count Dracula.
1.
Okay, bye.